Choose the inequality that represents the following graph. So let me copy the question to the board. Okay, so we see on the graph that the direction of the colored arrow is to the left, which means that each value of x to the variable needs to be less than 4, not including 4 itself, because the circle around 4 is hollow. So, okay, another way to think about it is that 4 needs to be greater than each value of x. Okay, so A is good. 4 is less than x. That is not correct, because if 4 was to be less than x, then the colored arrow should be to the right. So this is not correct. 3 is less than x. Yes, 3 is greater than x. Okay, but if option C was correct, then the circle should be on 3. And all the values of x should be to the left of 3. But if I plug in, let's say, 3.5, so this option would not be correct, because 3 is not greater than 3.5. Okay, so this option is not correct. 3 is less than x. Okay, this is also not correct, because to satisfy this inequality, each value of x should be to the right of 3, which means that the colored arrow needs to be in the right direction, not to the left direction. So this is not correct. So option A is correct. Choose the inequality that represents the following graph. So the colored arrow is to the right of 0, and the circle around 0 is hollow, which means that every number to the right, which means every number that is greater than 0, not including 0, satisfies the inequality that this graph represents. So we are looking for this option. X needs to be greater than 0, not including 0. So option D is not correct, because here it says x can be equal to 0 as well, not only greater than. And here the circle is hollow, which means that the graph does not include 0 itself. Okay, and option A and B are not correct, because it says that the value of x is less than or equal to 0, which means that the direction of the graph, the colored arrow should be to the left and not to the right, because here in option A and B the values of x needs to be less than or to the left of the 0, not to the right of the 0. So the only correct option is C. Okay, the speed of sound is approximately 768 miles per hour. When an object travels faster than the speed of sound, it creates a sonic boom. Okay, so this is the number 9, and this is 0, and this is 500, and this is 1000. So it means that 768 is somewhere here. And faster than, okay. Write an inequality that is true only for speed or speeds at which a moving option creates a sonic boom. So each value of x needs to be faster than or larger than. So if this is 768, so each value of x needs to be greater than 768, which means it needs to be to the right of this, not including 768 itself. So the inequality should state that x needs to be speeds s. Okay. So the variable that we are using is the letter s, lowercase s, needs to be greater than 768. You see here the variable that we need to use. Okay. S needs to be greater than 768. Okay. Graph. Okay, so the starting point is -1, and each value of x needs to be greater than or equal to. So the direction of the colored arrow is correct because it's to the right, and it says greater than or equal to -1, which means that the circle needs to be full, not hollow. Okay, so this is correct. Which of the x values are solutions to the following inequality? 17 is greater than x. 17 is greater than x. So if x equals 7, let's plug in x, 7 instead of x. 17 is greater than x. 17 is greater than 7, which means this is good. 17 is greater than 12. This is good. 17 is greater than 17. This is not correct. Okay, because 17 equals 17 is not greater than 17, so only options A and B are correct. Okay, so in the next video, I will learn this section, dependent and independent variables, and I will do this practice, independent versus dependent variables. So I will see you in the next video.